It's time for the top 7 comments of the week. Welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I am Lupagus, and it's time. It's time to go over the top 7 comments of the week, what you guys had to say on our vids this week. Onebar was in Hawaii, and a couple comments about that, but we're going to put up the best ones that we enjoyed the most. And so some of them are relevant, some of them not so much, but we're going to talk about them anyway. Before we do, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the vids, comment so you can be on here next week. And don't forget, speaking of comments, there is links below for some sweet-ass Vikings merch you can order right here from this video. All right, let's get started on this thing because, we went from a variety of videos here. A couple, one was about Jalen Ramsey, one was about Tom Brady. So let's start there. Let's start with the Tom Brady video. Again, I think this perfectly summed up both me and Onebar's opinion on Tom Brady coming to the Vikings from this unnamed source. My worthless comment says, it would look good on a football card, but other than that, no. He's absolutely right. It would look sweet. Could you imagine a Donruss from 2023 with Tom Brady and a Vikings uni? It'd be sweet as hell looking, but yeah, other than that, not interested. Not interested one bit. So well done, my worthless comment. You really encapsulated that very nicely. Let's go to another one. Let's go to the other veteran that we talked about, Jalen Ramsey, another rumored guy who Minnesota was inquiring about. I think that was the term, inquiring about Jalen Ramsey. This one's from Art Vandelay. Good old Art. If you're going to spend money on free agents that are among the best in the league, I'd rather see them invest that money in the lines, offensive and defensive. I don't think the secondary players are as important as the line. Big passing plays are low percentage plays. Thus, the further away you get from the line of scrimmage, the less money you should spend. Stopping the passing game is done with a combination of pass rush and coverage. If the pass rush is disruptive enough, the secondary is less of a concern. I think Art was playing his old trumpet while he was writing that. And yes, this is a great point. And for everybody clamoring for the Vikings to go corner in round 1 this year, let's not forget, you got to have a good pass rush neutralizes some poor play on the back end. So if you can get to the passer, it makes the cornerback's jobs a lot easier. So let's not forget about, maybe a linebacker who can rush, maybe a big old defensive tackle who can create interior pressure, or maybe another edge guy. That can eliminate subpar play in the secondary. So Art brings up a great point here. Veteran-wise, too, actually, I'd rather see them grab a veteran corner than go with another rookie. But his point is spot on. You definitely have to create pressure. It will help your secondary. He's right. Art's usually right. He's usually right. All right, let's go to this one. At Gilbert Hernandez says, I paused. This was, I think, our positions that could have a new starter. And number one about this one, I really appreciate Gilbert interacting with the video this way. I hope a lot of you guys do this, but Gilbert actually, well, I'll read it. I paused this and entered my positions before I listened to this video. Safety, if Smith departs both safety positions, middle linebacker, don't think Kendricks will be back. He wasn't too expressive last season. Hicks' spot may be open as well. Dancer spot, I'm good with him when he's on the field, but darn, he's always hurt. Thielen and Cook spots as well. So number one, Gilbert, thank you for pausing and interacting and putting your list down before we finished. That is fantastic. Hope a lot of you guys do that. Let's just dissect what he said here. Safety. Smith departs. You definitely need somebody else. But you got Lewis Seen. But a lot of these other comments, seems like a lot of you guys have already given up on Lewis Seen. Let's relax. Let's let the kid play a season healthy before we pass judgment on him. My God, everybody's writing off Lewis Seen already. So I was kind of surprised, but I'm not a Cam Bynum fan. Middle linebacker, absolutely right. We talked about that. Dancer spot, yeah, he's never on the field. You can't trust the guy. And Thielen and Cooks were two that we also mentioned. A wide receiver too, who's healthy and younger, and then just the way Kevin O'Connell uses running backs, I don't think we need to invest a bunch of money in that position. So Delvin Cook can go too. But again, thank you, Gilbert, for pausing. And then, this is what I would do. And then going back and watching. Here's one. I don't know. This might be kind of rude, but it's also kind of awesome. This is from Bill Eckerstorfer. He says, put an original Viking helmet on Lupagus and call him Lupagus the Penetrator. So either he's ripping on me, calling me Lupagus instead of Lupagus, but I do like the moniker Lupagus the Penetrator. Thank you, Bill, for that one. And if you really meant to call me Lupagus, yeah, well, you know what? Can't argue with that either. So that's that one. I am Lupagus the Penetrator from here on out. Let's go to Randy Barnes. Randy Barnes, he commented a lot this week, and they weren't always positive. But he says, "Sorry, you guys are drinking too much Lift Bridge." Thank you for the Lift Bridge shout out, by the way. There's no way they should keep Bradbury. They need someone who cannot get pushed around. I think the O line needs new left guard, center, and right guard for 2023. Men that will push the opposing D line around. Yeah, I mean, Bradbury, yes, he still cannot anchor. He still gets pushed into the backfield, but he made such strides this year. He was much better. Do you really want to bring in somebody else and throw off the whole cohesiveness with that group? I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't know who's going to really be after Garrett Bradbury. We'll see what happens. Again, I like to have him back just for the consistency. Keep this line together. I don't know why everybody's kind of down on Ezra Cleveland too. This wasn't the only comment that was a little bit negative towards Ezra. So we'll see. I like to actually see the whole line return and give them another year together and see where they go. But drinking too much Lift Bridge, that is a problem. That is a problem, Randy. You're right about that one. There's a sip right there. A little bit of Farm Girl in my mouth. All right. Let's see what else we got here. We got two left, I believe. Let's go with Ed Guy Rocks, a show favorite. For Herb, this is the same video. The guys, this is the bust video, actually. For Herb, if what you mean by shown flashes or drops, then he's excelled. Let's be honest, Diane Lynch shouldn't have been on the roster. My impression of Lynch is standing up when the ball is hiked, slapping around, getting blown by, and then the last man to the pile of purple, weaseling his mitt in there to touch the runner down, hoping he gets a stat. Ed Guy, he's usually speaking the truth, and he's kind of right. I mean, James Lynch is kind of that guy. Well, all of a sudden he shows up late on the pile, gets his hand in there, and I feel Cam Bynum is very much the same way from the safety position. So Ed Guy Rocks, hard to really disagree with anything you said here. I mean, Irv Smith did have a good year. Was it 2019? The last three, or maybe it was 2020. The last three games there, he actually played pretty well. Or last stretch there. So he has shown flashes. Yes, he had drops this year. I don't think the drops were there before this. Irv Smith Jr. is not coming back. He'll be signed somewhere else, and we'll see what his career ends up being. Troy Dye, I know. God, I'm surprised he made it too. I had so much hope for him. I really thought he was going to be a steal. I thought he was going to go higher in the draft. Surprised we got him where we did. So that was surprising to me. Let's go to the last one. The last comment of the day. This is from D. Garcia, another favorite of the show. D. Garcia is always on our lives. We really appreciate him. D. Garcia reminding us all, never, ever pay for Bush. #badass, #9000. That is a reference to That's Badass Wood Art, another partnership we are working with. And we'll be giving away 2 of their pieces here very, very soon. Yes, you never pay for Bush unless you're a Bush man. This was in reference. The whole Bush thing started with Devin Bush being a cheap option for linebacker for the Vikings next year. He's been hurt. He hasn't really quite living up to the expectations. I do believe the Steelers gave up a first-round pick to move up to get him. But again, remember, guys, never ever pay for Bush. And I think we should just end with that, and also end by remembering, never pay for Bush, and always keep your skull in your hole.